Okay, get ready to get spooky dooky with me because we're talking about Donald Trump, time travel, and George Magazine. All right, you probably missed it because if you were at George Magazine Live on Saturday, you heard this discussion with me and the CEO of George Magazine, Dave Blaze. Larry talked about a time machine or whatever.
Well, we know that there's no time travel. I know people are going to disagree with that. But there's no time travel. So, but there is remote viewing. There is Project Looking Glass.
Okay, so what were we talking about? We're talking about Larry. Larry was the designer of the first survival guide of the future. And Larry is also our senior designer at George Magazine now. Anyway, he was surmising about all of this stuff, and he was comparing all of that to his thought that it had to do with time travel. Now, this is what he said on Saturday. And you remember that cover, and he's going to compare it to Planet of the Apes.
Yes, Planet of the Apes. What was this about? It was about time travel.
Okay, so he's saying all this stuff. And I know you're saying, big deal, Gene Ho. All right, you're talking about time travel. But this is interesting because the very next day, this was this past Saturday, on Sunday, a new study came out. And it was published on Sunday, August 17th. And in it, it says, is time travel even possible? Now, this is a research article. Notice it's from the University of Maryland, because that's where he goes. But what did he say in that article? So it was already kind of strange. We're talking about time travel, and then the next day this comes out. But what was said in that article? Telescopes are time machines. Now, you might say, oh, what's the big deal? Now, here's the timeline. Survival Guide of the Future, the first one, about 30 years ago. Then, this past weekend, we start talking about time travel. The next day, the article comes out. But it talks about telescopes. 3 years ago, the new George Magazine published the new Survival Guide to the Future. You see it right there. You see all of this, Mount Rushmore, once again. But what else do you see? A telescope. That was from 3 years ago. What the heck is going on?